I'm sure we've all heard of Half-Life by now, right? How revolutionary it was at the time and its everlasting legacy? Sort of. For a time, all people heard were shitty memes and leaks that went nowhere. For a long time, Half-Life was presumed a dead IP. Well, it was when I found out about it. Around 2014, I'd gotten really into Portal. Look, I promise we'll get into Project Borealis, I swear. And to experience Portal, I bought with my money the orange box. When it arrived, I basically said, fuck you to the other games included, and played Portal over and over and over. And then I got the second game, and I played it over and over and over. But one day I was watching a video about the connection between Portal and Half-Life, a game that I had but I never really thought about. After finding out about the connection between the two games, I sat down and opened Half-Life 2, thinking I'd be getting more Portal, but I was in for an experience much better than expected. After completing all the Half-Life games included in the orange box, and finding out about Valve abandoning the series, I was consumed with rage and confusion. I had just played some games that, while sure outdated compared to games at the time, were a fun and engaging way to experience an utterly depressing world. How could Valve abandon something like this? I thought to myself. Why would they abandon something like this? Two questions that plagued me for years until Half-Life crumbled in the back of my mind, and I didn't care anymore. Until one day, specifically August 25th, 2017, I got a notification from Valve News Network, now Tyler McVicker, called Half-Life 2 Episode 3's story released by Mark Laidlaw, in which I found out that Mark Laidlaw, lead writer on all Half-Life projects, had released something on his official blog called Epistle 3, in which it is painfully obvious that this is the original plot for Half-Life 2 Episode 3, with names and genders switched. And that confused me. What does this mean for Half-Life, I thought? Is this the nail in the coffin? Will I ever see anything from Half-Life again? And while I was sure the worst answers were true, I didn't want that to be the case, and soon after, I found out it wasn't. I'm pulling this time out of my ass, but I think it was about a year later that I found out about Project Borealis and Boreal Aleph. Not one Episode 3 or Half-Life 3 that I'd been hoping for from Valve, but two games made by the community based on Epistle 3. It was a dream come true. At that point, it was basically just their announcements, but I was hyped. And as I followed these projects... Okay. You know when you're so excited for something? It could be waking up on Christmas Day, or a movie you've been waiting for is coming out next week. That feeling of pure excitement and willingness to wait almost makes you feel like you're going to be sick. Like, you're okay to wait because you're sure it's going to be everything you hope? Yeah, I got that. Now, I haven't actually explained the difference between Project Borealis and Boreal Aleph yet, so here it is. Half-Life 2 was developed on an engine called Source, and is presumably what Half-Life 2 Episode 3 was going to be developed on. This is also the engine Keep Away from Fire, or CAF, would use to start the Boreal Aleph project. editing and updating the source engine to develop a fan-made Episode 3 that felt like Half-Life. Whereas Project Borealis would be developed on Unreal Engine 4, a more up-to-date engine graphically and coding-wise, as Unreal has a feature called Blueprints, making it easier to prototype games quicker. Project Borealis would be more of an emulation of the source feeling, while making changes where they could to the gameplay to update the feel, without taking away its identity as Half-Life. Now, I will say, I always favoured Project Borealis. I have no clue why, but as I watched both of the teams develop, I found the Project Borealis team drew me in more. On June 19th, 2019, they released Update 5, revealing more than they had ever before. But little did we know at the time, this would be Project Borealis' last official update. And as my Half-Life hype grew to its apex, another Half-Life project was announced.
I'm here. So what's the plan?
If we can get this weapon, what we're doing here could change things forever.
There's no straight shot to the vault. I'm gonna head inside, find a way out. Got it.
I'm with you every step of the way.
You're gonna need a gun! Don't worry, it's unloaded. It's unloaded now! Combine chatter's really picking up. They know you're coming. You need to get out of here, now. Oh God.
They've got Dad.
They're gonna find out what he knows, and then they're gonna kill him.
All this is my fault. I never told you. I couldn't. I'm so sorry, baby.
You will not save him. Alyx Vance alone cannot prevent his fate.
Close your eyes, honey.
That is the exact same video I watched on November 21st, 2019. And I won't lie, I was mixed. On the one hand, Half-Life was back, and that was great. But on the other, I wouldn't be able to experience this new title, which broke me. But I couldn't lie and say I wasn't excited to watch others play it. I mean, it is still Half-Life. It was a prequel, but I would take anything I got. Hell, it's a new Valve game. And on March 14th, 2020, Project Borealis would release the last video on their YouTube for 2 years, detailing their wind physics. Honestly, it's a fascinating watch and I urge you to check it out. Eventually, Alyx released on March 23rd, 2020, and oh my god, it was true. Half-Life was back. It had an ending that I won't spoil, but had implications on the future of the Half-Life series, while still, from what I've heard, being a fantastic game. Over on Twitter, however, Project Borealis put out a statement stating as follows. That's how statements work. Just a quick update from the Project Borealis team, that while Half-Life Alyx has provided us with a huge amount of inspiration and motivation, we're continuing to work on the game using Epistle 3 as the base for our story. And after that, nothing. This is the final post on the updates channel on their official Discord. June 7th, 2021. CAF releases a tweet on their official Twitter page. An important message to our fans about the future of Boreal Aleph. To cut the speculation off at the source, it is likely that Boreal Aleph is being shelved permanently. We'll share more details within the next few days, but this is not a decision that comes lightly. We'll be discussing future steps and ways to give development material and assets, and maybe more, to the public without stepping on anybody's toes or making other people upset. No matter what, we want this to benefit everybody in some way. You've been a great audience, and we've all really enjoyed watching you follow our journey. We'll be telling everyone how to check out other projects by members of our team, as many of us are aiming to continue working together in various capacities. This isn't goodbye. Lastly, please don't harass members of the team for information or out of disappointment. What you may have heard about what happened is, in part, a result of poor handling today, but is largely a result of issues that have plagued us since the beginning. Please respect everyone by refraining from pestering members of the team. Thank you all again for your support over the years. It's been deeply motivating, helpful, and kind. Even if CAF dissolves, most of us will continue making stuff together, and we hope you enjoy it. Till next time, keep away from fire. That did suck. As a few months prior, on February 12th, they had released a gameplay showcase that looked extremely promising. On June 12th, Project Borealis releases a tweet welcoming any former member of CAF to join the PB team, stating at the bottom, "We're still hard at work on the project." It was shortly after this, on July 11th, that I joined the Project Borealis Discord, and I hated it. I joined for updates, but as I have said, there hadn't been an update since Alyx's release a year prior, and there was a message from Postulio? I don't know how to say that name. On June 8th, stating as follows: "We're not focused on drawing PR attention right now. We're just focusing on completing the public demo, which is intended to be the basis for the next update. We switched from update influence dev to milestone driven dev after update 5, lower priority on PR in general. Well, the whole reason I had joined the server had been for nothing. But I did stay in case there were any more messages from devs, but up until the day of writing this, the 22nd of May, even those have gotten sparse." Another thing I'd like to point out is the annoying disinformation, where a new person would join and ask, "Is this project dead?" To which someone who had been in the server longer than the newcomer would reply, "Project Borealis is cancelled." For a long time, I let this rile me up, because I resent mis- and disinformation, because it preys on people who know no better, who ask a question hoping for a reliable answer, and they get a lie that they think is true. But recently, there had been a few comments from Tyler McVicker on his streams in which he says he is in contact with Project Borealis devs and has said some confusing things.
Alright, another question. On the state of Project Borealis. You've stated in the past you've spoken with Mastercoms about the development of Project Borealis. According to them, as well as various statements on the Project Borealis Discord, as well as their GitHub, they are still very much in active development. Despite this, there has been no public information given other than a few half-hearted job listings and promises. How possible is it, in your opinion, that Project Borealis is a shadow project now, and is likely to cancel development in the near future akin to Boreal Aleph? I'm concerned that Project Borealis isn't doing well behind the scenes, and lack of any sort of indication that the public speaks poorly of confidence about the project. Here's the deal with Project Borealis. I'm not on the team, and I'm in no place to throw stones at any volunteer-based community team. That said, they have missed a lot of deadlines that they internally told me about. There was supposed to be like a demo release over a year ago. I haven't spoken to Mastercoms in a while. She's been very busy with her like IRL job. I do know that there have been some changes in the makeup and structure of the Project Borealis team. However, it's far more organized than Boreal Aleph ever was. That doesn't mean a whole lot. And it's very possible that it's a shadow project being used to puff out portfolios, and then they'll cancel, just like they did with Boreal Aleph. But I have no evidence to suggest it happening or on the contrary. I could bother Mastercoms again, but I was going to wait like another 2 months before I bothered her about it. So, I'm sorry that I don't have enough information on the topic. I could probably get an exclusive out of it, but I'm going to wait a little bit more time because my rule of thumb usually is to bug community teams every 6 months, poke them, and be like, yo, how are things going? You know, can I make a video yet? That kind of thing. That's how I go. That's how I roll.
As no one in the Discord can reliably get in contact with the dev, this is the information I am going off. And so I have set a date that if there's no official news by or on August 27th of this year, that date being Project Borealis' 5th anniversary, there'll most likely be no news apart from a cancellation. While I'd love to hold out hope for this project, something I've been following for years of my life, shilling it on stream, constantly talking about it, its radio silence and refusal to release anything, not a screenshot or a short video saying we haven't cancelled, is disheartening. My only hope now is that if it does cancel, they release the file so that others in the community can pick up where they left off. I have loved and shielded the shit out of this project, but in the meantime, this is where I get off.